I came in through the service door of the internet, past the dead bulbs and the wet brick, where every handle is an alias and every smile has a keylogger behind it. The week on the calendar says August 1 through August 8, 2026, but down here the clocks lie for a living. Leak sites blink in and out. Telegram rooms burn after reading. Mirrors move. Victim names appear like chalk outlines, then vanish when the money clears. Here is the first hard truth from the alley. I cannot verify fresh ransomware claims for that week from where I stand. No live feed, no current onion crawl, no access to private broker rooms, no clean line into the leak portals. And in this racket, a fake certainty is just another loaded gun. So tonight's dispatch is not a parade of invented bodies. It is a field report on how to read the blood on the pavement, who usually holds the knife, and what your defenders should be watching when the next name hits the wall. The ransomware street has changed shape, but the old hunger is still there. Lockbit, once the loudest mouth in the room, took a hard punch from Operation Kronos in 2024, when law enforcement seized infrastructure, obtained decryptors, and named operators. But takedowns in this neighborhood rarely mean the lights stay off. Affiliates scatter, tooling gets resold, panels get rebuilt, and the next brand opens shop under a fresh coat of paint. When a major crew gets rattled, the affiliates do not retire. They go looking for a new landlord. ALPHV, also known as Black Cat, played the same kind of dirty game before its own collapse and exit scam rumors. That crew pushed Rust-based ransomware, double extortion, and aggressive pressure tactics, including public leak pages and direct contact with customers, regulators, and journalists. Their affiliates were tied to attacks against healthcare, hospitality, manufacturing, and critical service providers. The lesson was ugly and simple. The brand can die, but the tradecraft walks away wearing a different hat. The current playbook, as seen through 2024 and still worth carrying into any 2026 watch floor, starts at the edge. VPN appliances, Citrix, Fortinet, SonicWall, Palo Alto, Ivani, Cisco, and remote desktop gates are the side doors of the modern enterprise. Add stolen credentials from InfoStealer logs, bought from shops fed by Redline, Raccoon, Vidar, Llama, and other password thieves, and the attacker may never need a 0-day. They buy a badge, walk through the lobby, and ask Active Directory where the safe is. Once inside, the usual suspects come out of the coat pocket. Cobalt Strike if the actor wants an old reliable baton. AnyDesk, Screen Connect, Atera, and other remote management tools if they want to hide among admin noise. SecSec and WMI for lateral movement. Mimikatz, Lazan, and LSASS dumping for credentials. Rclone, Mega, FileZilla, WinCP, and custom exfil tools for hauling stolen files out the back. Then come the EDR killers, vulnerable sign drivers, safe mode tricks, and finally the locker on Windows, Linux, or ESXi. CLEP wrote one of the nastier chapters with mass exploitation instead of one victim at a time. Their Move It Transfer campaign in 2023 used CVE 2023-34362 to steal data at scale from exposed file transfer systems. Earlier, they had hit Axelion FTA and Go Anywhere MFT. That tells you the shape of the beast. Some crews do not need to burn down the whole building. They wait by the loading dock where the documents already passed through, then steal the truck. Akira, Play, Black Basta, Medusa, Rhizida, Keylin, Bian Lian, Cactus, INC Ransom, Hunters International, 8base, and Ransom Hub have all represented pieces of the post-Lockbit, post-ALPHV street economy. Some encrypt, some steal and threaten, some do both. Bian Lian became known for data theft extortion after moving away from heavy encryption. Play has leaned on intermittent encryption and leak pressure. Akira has repeatedly been associated in public reporting with VPN access, weak multi-factor coverage, and attacks against small and mid-size organizations as well as larger targets. On the underground forums, the real money often changes hands before the ransomware crew ever shows up. Initial access brokers are the doormen of the crime syndicate. They advertise access by revenue, geography, sector, and privilege. One listing might say manufacturing company, United States, revenue over 500 million, VPN access, domain user. Another might say healthcare, ESXi present, domain admin, EDR bypassed. The price climbs when the victim has cyber insurance, weak segmentation, and a fat balance sheet. The broker does not always know or care which ransomware gang buys the key. That is the beauty of the ugly machine. One crew steals credentials with a fake browser update. Another sells logs in bulk. A broker tests the VPN. An affiliate buys access. A ransomware operator supplies the locker, the leak site, the negotiation panel, and the brand name. Everybody takes a cut. Everybody keeps their hands just clean enough to deny the body. Forums like Exploit and XS have long been fixtures in the Russian-language cybercrime scene, while breach forum-style communities and their successors keep feeding the public appetite for stolen databases. Telegram channels act like smoky back rooms with faster exits. Stealer log markets are the pawn shops, full of browser cookies, saved passwords, session tokens, VPN profiles, cloud keys, and cryptocurrency wallet scraps. The buyer does not need to break your perimeter if your employee's home machine already handed over the keys. The malware bazaar keeps evolving. Info stealers are polished like switchblades now, sold with dashboards, filters, Telegram bots, and subscription plans. Loaders and botnets offer install traffic by country. Phishing kits come with reverse proxy features that can capture session tokens and bypass weak multi-factor defenses. Evil Jinx-style adversary in the middle phishing remains a serious concern, where push approval or one-time codes are still treated like a magic shield. They are not magic. They are paper doors if the session cookie gets stolen. Law enforcement has learned to hit the ecosystem, not just the logo. Operation Kronos against Lockbit showed the value of seizing panels, naming affiliates, gathering keys, and poisoning trust inside the gang. The Quackbot takedown in 2023 disrupted a major initial access and malware delivery pipeline. Emotet got knocked down before that. Genesis Market was seized, and arrests followed around stolen credential trading. Each action matters, but the underground is a hydra in a cheap suit. Cut off one head and 3 affiliates start asking who is hiring. What it means is this. Ransomware is no longer just malware. It is a supply chain of criminal services. The intrusion may begin with a password stolen 6 months earlier from a contractor laptop. It may pass through a broker, get tested by an affiliate, staged with legitimate remote admin software, and end with a leak site countdown timer. If defenders only look for the final ransomware binary, they are arriving after the getaway car is already warm. Watch the edge first. Patch internet-facing systems with the urgency you reserve for a fire in the records room. Enforce phishing-resistant multi-factor authentication where possible, especially FIDO2 hardware keys for administrators, VPN, SSO, cloud consoles, and remote access. Hunt for impossible travel, new device enrollment, suspicious OAuth consent, abnormal RDP, unexpected remote management tools, and large outbound transfers to cloud storage. Segment ESXi and backup infrastructure. Keep offline or immutable backups. Test restores, not just backup jobs. Block known abused drivers. Monitor for rclone, Mega, WinCP, AnyDesk, Screen Connect, SecSec, and unusual archiving tools like 7-Zip or WinRAR running across file servers. And keep an eye on the dark market signals before they become headlines. Your company name on an access broker forum is a gun on the table. A dump of corporate stealer logs is a map to your basement. A leak site claim may be true, inflated, recycled, or fake, but it must be triaged fast. Confirm exposure, preserve logs, check identity systems, rotate credentials, revoke sessions, audit cloud access, and prepare communications before the extortion clock starts ticking. That is the dispatch from the wire tonight. No fairy tales, no counterfeit victim list, no bright paint over rotten wood, just the shape of the racket and the tracks it leaves in the mud. I am Jack Cipher, heading back down the stairwell where the routers hum like neon and the crooks never sleep. The underground does not close at dawn, it only changes masks.